I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. I get lots and lots of viewer questions on what are my favorite tools and other questions on how I work in my sewing room. One of my number one questions is what size is my cutting mat and where did I get it? And this cutting mat is sold at JOANN Fabrics and Crafts. And if you have a JOANN's near you, use a coupon from JOANN's and you can get it as much as 50% off. The size of this mat is 56 inches by 33 inches. Now let me show you another mat you can purchase if you don't need one quite this big. This particular cutting mat is sold at Walmart. It is made by Fiskars and it is about 24 by 18 inches. You can get this half the price than you could at JOANN's. Not all Walmart stores carry fabric and craft items. Here are some of my cutting tools. I don't exactly have an exact favorite because they all work pretty much the same, but I use some of the tools for different items. For instance, when I do my cutting of fabric for making quilts, I'm going to use a rotary cutter. It's much faster and more accurate. Now, there are many different brands out there. This is Olfa. You'll find these sold at JOANN Fabrics and Crafts. This is a 60 millimeter. I use this one the most. I use the 45 millimeter on occasion, but most people who are just getting started in sewing will use the 45 millimeter because it is a little bit cheaper. The blades are a little bit cheaper, but use a coupon for JOANN Fabrics and Crafts because you can save a lot of money. This is Fiskars. You can buy these at Walmart for half the price than JOANN's. This is a scissors cutter. I mean, not cutter, it is a scissors sharpener. It just works okay. It just is enough to where you can, if you're having difficulty cutting a piece of fabric, it'll sharpen it up just enough so you can finish cutting. I use a lot of regular scissors. I'm left-handed, so I try to find scissors that are either just strictly for left-handed people or this one that's for either left or right-handed. This is a spring action. So for those of you who have difficulty using your hands, you may find spring action a lot easier. This is a fun little tool. These are rag cutting shears. I like to make rag quilts, and you have to clip through very thick layers of fabric, and these are extremely sharp. You want to keep all of these cutting tools out of the reach of children. Here are some of my other favorite tools. This little seam gauge. I can keep this at my sewing machine if I just want to measure a small little seam. Another thing is a must, I think, for people who sew are these curved blade scissors. You can get in real close and cut those thread ends off, and I just love these. I have several of these. I keep one by each of my sewing machines. Now here is a spool of thread. I just recently had a viewer ask me this question. She went from a very old Singer sewing machine where the thread stood straight up and the thread comes off very easily. On your newer machines, your thread lays like this. Well, on the ends of the thread, this little ring right here, there's a little slit where the thread manufacturer cuts and hides the end of the thread so it doesn't unravel during shipment to the stores. When you put it on the newer machines, it will get caught, the thread will get caught on it, unless you put this on the end. And all of your newer machines, if your thread is sitting down like that, should have one of these. Another one is this presser foot. If you are into quilting or you like to do quilting stitches, even on placemats and table runners and pot holders, this is also a must. It is a walking foot. Now, very few machines come with one. You have to purchase it separately. You can buy it at sewing machine stores where they sell sewing machines. You can even buy them on Amazon.com and other sewing machine supply websites. Another tool I like to use are tweezers. This helps me to thread the needle. I can get my hand under there easily to reach the eye of the needle, and it just goes in real easy. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm very clumsy, and I spill pin trays over all the time. What I like about this is it's magnetic. Even if I drop this on the floors and pins scatter, all I have to do is turn it upside down, run it around the floor, and it picks up all my pins. I just love these. I have these all over my sewing room. Another thing that is a must if you like to sew is just these little cheap calculators you can get at Walmart. I use it all the time to calculate how much fabric I need or trim that I need. I use it all the time. It is a must. I'm dragging it out every single day. And I'm not that great at math, and it helps me to figure out all types of measurements. So this is a must for everyone. Another tool that I just love are my circle templates. I also have heart-shaped templates and flower templates. You can buy them at JOANN Fabrics and Crafts. They're made by June Taylor. Make sure you sign up for the JOANN app on your cell phone because every week they publish new coupons. So you look for one of those 50% off coupons and use it to buy your templates. As I've gotten older, my eyes have gotten worse. It's getting harder and harder to see those tiny little stitches in the eye of the needle. So I need all the help I can get. So I have all kinds of magnifying tools. This is a magnifying glass on a stand, and I really like this when I need to rip out a seam so I can see my stitches. I just put the item right underneath it and I can begin to rip out the seams if I need to. Another one that I got this upside down, that I just recently got are these Magna glasses. Now, I purchased them off of Amazon. I don't know if they sell them at JOANN Fabrics and Crafts, but these are really nice. It also helps me to see the eye of the needle, but I also like to do cross stitch and needle point. And sometimes at a certain time of the day, my eyes are really tired. These really help me to see all of the stitches. If you are a quilter, you need to have a lot of safety pins, and I use the large safety pins. Now, there are specialty safety pins that are made specifically for quilting. I don't find them any easier to put in my fabric than just the good old-fashioned regular straight pins, and these are a lot cheaper to purchase. Another item that I love are these Wonder Clips. If you have really thick layers of fabric that you're trying to stitch together, a straight pin's not going to work. You're going to need these little clips. And I believe you can buy them at JOANN's. You can buy them on the internet. I even bought them off of Walmart.com. I often get asked which is my favorite cutting ruler. All of them. I use them all. But the one I probably use the most is this 8.5 by 24 inch long ruler. I use this one all the time to cut out my strips of quilting fabric. There are two rulers I'm going to recommend to you that you should start out with. Is this one right here, and then this other one, let me get it out, which is a 12-inch square ruler. So if you are a quilter, these are the two rulers is a must to get you started. Then I have all other sizes. Here's another one that is a favorite of mine. I believe it's, I think it's an 8 by 12. Not an 8, but a 6. I use this a lot for smaller projects. I won't use a great big ruler for the little projects. There's also this big square ruler right here. And this is a 15-inch square ruler. I don't use this one very much, but when I need it, I am so glad that I have it. But if you're just getting started in quilting, I wouldn't buy this one right away. Hold off on it. Wait to see if you're going to like quilting and if you want to stick with it and do all that much with it. Then there's some other ones that I use a lot. This is a 6.5-inch square ruler. So when I'm working with 6.5-inch square blocks, this one is really handy for squaring those blocks up. This is a 9.5-inch square ruler. I also use this one a lot. It just all depends on what I'm making. And I recently bought this one because I just wanted a long skinny ruler. And this one's 3 inches by 18 inches. And this is Fiskars brand. You can get it at Walmart, half the price than at JOANN's. All of these other rulers I showed you is OmniGrid brand. These are also at JOANN's. I can't stress enough about looking for those JOANN coupons. You can also purchase this little ruler stand. It has all these little grooves in it. I used to just lay all my rulers flat. They were on top of each other. I was knocking them over, dropping them on the ground. It was just a mess. I finally gave in and bought this, maybe 8 years ago. And I don't remember what it cost, but it was definitely worth the money if you have a large ruler collection. I was wearing out irons left and right. I'd go to Walmart, buy the most expensive one they had, which was at the time around $50, and in less than 6 months, I wore it out. I'd have to go back and buy another one. Finally, I decided I am going to buy a very expensive iron because it'll be cheaper in the end. This is called an Aliso Pro. You can get it in different colors and different models. One of the things that is really unique about this is on the very back is a switch. Down here it says on and off. That on and off switch tells you whether it's going to lift up off of the tabletop every time you touch it, or is it going to sit flat down. So here's what it does. Here it is. I've got my hand on it and it's lifting, it's laying flat on the table. Now I'm going to release it and it lifts up. So you never have to worry about setting it on its back end. Now you can turn that feature off so that you can set it on the back end. It also has a sensor that if you forget to set it up, after so long when it gets too hot, it just automatically shuts off. There's one item on here or thing on here that is a little bit of a drawback for me. I want to be really honest. I love the iron, but you see this little thing here? This is what lifts it up off of the table. I'm touching it again, so watch it pop out. Sometimes it gets caught on my fabric and I wind up pressing wrinkles in. This one's just a little off. I did have to return one of these irons once for another problem, but they were great about returning it and giving me another one exactly like it. So they're real easy to work with. I highly recommend this iron. I recently took all of my fabric and began to store them a little differently on my shelves. I purchased this cardboard and I believe it's like about 8.5 by 10 and these little hair clips, and I wrap my fabric around it. So let me show you how I do it. Now I have my fabric double folded. So when you purchase it off of the bolt in the stores, you got your selvage edges together and then your folded edge. So I fold it in half. I take my cardboard and place it near the end, fold it over, and just continue to fold and wrap it. And you just keep going. Then when you get all the way to the end, you take the little clip and hold it like that. And then if Mr. Cameraman, you want to take a look at my shelves, you'll see I've got all my fabric wrapped around cardboard. And it's so easy for me to find my fabric and not mess everything up. Well, I hope this helped you with your shopping list of what tools you think you could use. Remember, you can't buy all of this stuff at once. It really does add up. But I've been sewing for well over 60 years. I hate to say that, but I have. And so take your time, look for the bargains, use the coupons. I will try to put as many links to these products as I can. I may not be able to provide links for everything, but I'll try to find as many as I can. So now make sure you follow me on Instagram and check out that Facebook page of mine. See you next time, and happy sewing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click on the thumbs up button. Don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Don't forget to click on the bell. I'm Cheryl, and this is a lot of mayonnaise. See you next time, and happy sewing!